Hello everyone. Welcome to Whispers by the Huan River. Today we're going to share the story behind the memorial against the expulsion of foreign officials. This story is recorded in the biography of Li Si within Shiji, or the records of the grand historian. More than 2,200 years ago, China was not yet unified. Instead, it was divided into several different states. The strongest among them was the state of Qin, located in the western part of modern-day China. One day, the young King Zheng of Qin, who would later become Qin Shi Huang, or the first emperor of China, signed a strict decree, historically known as the Order to Expel Aliens. The decree mandated that all foreign experts working in the Qin government must resign immediately and leave the state within a set time limit. This expulsion order stemmed from a spy case hidden behind a massive water conservancy project. At the time, the neighboring state of Han had sent a water conservancy expert named Zheng Guo. On the surface, he was there to help Qin build a canal, but his true motive was to drain Qin's financial resources through this incredibly costly project. Although the king of Qin rationally allowed Zheng Guo to stay and finish the canal, the native Qin nobles seized this opportunity to stir up trouble. They had long been jealous of foreign talents holding key positions, so they signed a joint petition, saying, "Your Majesty, foreigners come to Qin only to serve their own homelands. Please expel them all." In a state of suspicion, the king listened to his ministers. Li Si, a native of the state of Chu, who was serving as an official in Qin at the time, was also on the expulsion list. Facing this sudden turn of events, Li Si submitted a memorial to the king of Qin. This document would become a timeless masterpiece known to history as 建筑课书, or the Memorial Against the Expulsion of Foreign Officials. Li Si presented the king with undeniable facts and argued passionately. "Your Majesty, please look at the history of Qin's ancestors. Back then, Duke Mu was desperate for talent. He brought in You Yu from Xirong, welcomed Bai Lixi from Chu, invited Jian Shu from Song, and gained the service of Pi Bao and Gong Sun Zhi from Jin. None of these 5 men were from Qin, but by leveraging their wisdom, Duke Mu ruled over the western regions and became a powerful hegemon. Years later, Duke Xiao appointed Shangyang from Wei. Shangyang transformed Wei's Qin society and turned it into an economic and a military powerhouse. King Hui made use of Zhang Yi, a Wei national, to dismantle the grand alliance of the 6 rival states. King Zhao leveraged the wisdom of Fan Ju from Wei to strengthen central authority and weaken opponents, securing Qin's absolute dominance. Your Majesty, please think about it. Did any of these 4 great rulers use local Qin citizens? If they had driven away foreigners back then, Qin would not become the superpower it is today." Then, Li Si wrote with blunt honesty, "Your Majesty, I observe that your palaces are adorned with precious jade from the Kunlun Mountains. At your waist, you wear the pearl of Marquis Sui and the jade of He. Your inner chambers are filled with peerless beauties from the states of Yan and Zhao. The steeds that draw your carriages are stallions of the finest breed, and the music that delights your ears comes from the eastern principalities. Your Majesty, not a single one of these items is a native product of Qin, yet you enjoy them every single day. Why do you accept only foreign goods when it comes to personal entertainment and luxury, but reject foreign minds when it comes to the survival of the state and the grand vision of uniting China? Can it be that to you, the great talents of the world are inferior to a palace beauty or a decorative rock?" This sharp, rhetorical attack struck a nerve, completely exposing the logical double standard of the king of Qin. After completing this sequence of masterful preparations, Li Si struck the most passionate and resonant chord, writing 3 eternal maxims that have echoed through the past 2 millennia. 泰山不让土壤，故能成其大；河海不择细流，故能就其深；王者不却众数，故能明其德。Li Si addressed the king. Mount Tai owes its grandeur to the fact that it welcomes every speck of soil, no matter how small. The oceans owe their immense depth to the fact that they embrace every minor rivulet. In the same way, a monarch who aspires to the great enterprise should harbor a heart broad enough to welcome all people and talents, without discriminating against their birthplace or nationality. Finally, Li Si concluded, Now, Your Majesty, by expelling these talents and driving them into the arms of rival states, you are doing what military strategists call lending weapons to bandits and providing grains to thieves. This is equivalent to sending provisions to your enemies. Every single talent you drive away will turn into a sharp blade for the other 6 states to use against Qin. This will only make your enemy stronger while plunging Qin into true and absolute peril. Upon receiving this memorial, King Zheng of Qin was jolted awake in an instant. He was deeply moved by the grandeur of Li Si's perspective. Consequently, he immediately ordered the repeal of the expulsion decree, invited Li Si back to the court, and promoted him to a pivotal position. Because the king reopened his heart to the world, talents flocked back to Qin once again. Over the next decade, Qin's armies were unstoppable. They swept through the other states, finally building the first unified empire in Chinese history. And what about the Zhengguo Canal, the very project that started as a spy plot? Once completed, it irrigated vast fields across the Guangzhou region. Instead of destroying Qin, it became the strongest backbone of logistics for Qin's war of unification. That is the end of our story today. Thank you for listening to Whispers by the Huan River. See you next time.